What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to yet another DIY video here in the garage. I've got Kevin's 07 328i X-Drive. So he's been putting a little bit of money into this car, as you guys can probably already tell by all the recent 328 videos. And as you can see behind me, we have another mod to do. So this car is basically just a normal body, does not have an Msport package or anything on it, but Kevin was able to score a Msport rear bumper locally for pretty cheap. So he picked it up and had it painted, and we're gonna be swapping that on today. So what's surprising here is, after all these years of me working on cars and taking bumpers off and taking all this body panels and all kinds of stuff off, I've never actually taken a rear bumper off of any car. So this might be a little learning experience for me, but hopefully this will be a nice DIY for you guys who are looking to do some sort of upgrade like this. I think it's really going to transform the rear, and I'm not sure what he's gonna do with the front yet. I don't know if he's going to do an Msport bumper, whether it be a pre-LCI or an LCI or maybe an M3 bumper, but I'm sure he's on the hunt for one of those as well. So if you guys have any leads, please let me know in the comments below. But for today, we're going to go ahead and swap this new Msport bumper on. We also have an Msport diffuser over here, and since this is a 328, we are doing the single exit exhaust, as you can see. So let's get on to it. This might be hard to tell, but just so you guys have an idea of what the Msport bumper will look like up against the car, maybe that gives you some sort of indication. It's just a much more sleek looking, it's got better lines, and the diffuser obviously, which you can actually pop out later on and put, you know, carbon diffuser or whatever the case may be. But I just think this is a lot more aggressive looking, and yeah, it looks a lot nicer. So hopefully we can do this pretty problem free and pretty quick and easily. There's a little plastic piece that I just popped off right here. Same thing right here on this side, so you just got to take a little flathead screwdriver, prop it in there, and pull this little cover off. That's what that looks like. It's kind of just compression fitted, clipped in there, and then behind it we've got a Torx bolt on each side. And this bolt right here is going to be a T25. All right, so once you've got that out, what we need to do is we need to get access behind these taillights here. So what we're going to do is pull this carpet back. So you'll see there's a couple little plastic clips. There's one there. I think if you just undo this one, you should be able to pull this carpet back enough to actually access the bolts that are holding the taillight in. So this was just a little black compression clip. Just use a screwdriver, pull this up, pull it out, and then you can actually just pull the carpet back just like that. Behind here there are 3 screws that we need to kind of undo. I'm going to go ahead and actually also unplug the taillight. So there's a little plug right there. You just need to push it in, and it'll pop out. This little tab that you push in. Pull it out. And then there are, I think these are 8mm. There's one here, one down here, and then one on the other side that we need to remove. All right, so these are the little nuts that I pulled off. These are 8mm, so there's 3 of them. And once you unplug the taillight and unscrew those, this whole taillight should just kind of pop right out. So there you go. So once we've got that out, we can do the same thing to the other side. All right, next step. There are 3 of these 8mm screws here that line this bumper. So there's basically one here, and one down here on each side. So as you can see, I went ahead and removed these 3 already. You don't need to take the wheel off or anything. You can just use a small little ratchet just like this one here, and you've got just enough room to stick it in there and unscrew all 3 of those. So I already did that side. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So if you can see, there's one here, which you probably can't see. One there, one right here, and one right here. So once we get those 3 out, there's just one screw that's holding the bumper to the quarter panel right here, and that bolt is like right around this area. Okay, so at this point, you just need to grab the felt liner, stick your hand back here, and pull it out just like that. That should give you just enough room to reach the little screw that's up inside of here. Right here, there's another 8mm screw, so it's about right here, and we'll do that on each side. All right, so after removing those 2, crawl underneath here, and you'll see a few more 8mm screws underneath the bumper. So there's one here, there's one there, there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I believe. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of those. So it goes all the way around the entire perimeter of the rear bumper. There's 11 of these. They're all 8mm underneath. So once we've got all of those screws out, at this point the bumper is just kind of sitting in here clipped in. So the hardest part is going to be right here on these little bumper guides. So you basically need to prop this up and kind of lift the bumper up and out of the little clips that are holding it in place. So if I look at this, if we look at the new bumper, I'll show you what I mean. All right, so this is the new bumper over here. This is that area that I was referring to. The bumper guides kind of go right on top of this, and a little clip goes up from the car up into here. So what you kind of need to do is you kind of need to prop that black piece up and then prop this up as well to get it up and over. And then otherwise it's just some retaining clips that go all the way across. All right, just word of the wise, these are extremely brittle to get out, so you gotta be real careful. So this one's actually a little bit broken. This one was already broken from before, so not sure how that happened, but that was not from me. But these are a little bit difficult to get out. So as you can see, there's like a little guide here. This little black piece has a little hook on it, so it kind of goes up inside of here. So you kind of need to prop this part up of the bumper, so you can see how brittle this is. And this is a pretty old car at this point, so all these plastics are very, very brittle, and you just got to take your time. So you kind of got to, you know, I'm using a little trim tool here. Kind of go in and prop this up while pushing this part down, the black piece, which is attached to the car. It's kind of difficult to do, but so there's all these all the way across here, and there's a couple right here in the middle that you just kind of need to tug on, and it'll pull right out. So I've got this whole side out here, same with the other, and this is going to be the most difficult part right here on top. All right, so this clip is out here. I'm just going to use my little pry tool and stick it up in this corner, and then I'm going to kind of lift this up and out of the clip. There we go. The other side was a little bit easier, but as you can see, these are the holes here. So you kind of need to just push this in and push this black piece up, and it should eventually come out. So, and then all the way across here in the front. So this whole front side naturally popped out on its own. So yeah, we're ready to pull this guy off. Already did this side over here. Down and out. Good to go. So here's what the car looks like without a bumper. And here's the old one here and the new one right behind it. So pretty sure Kevin's not going to be keeping this thing. It does have a lot of clear coat failure, which I showed you kind of in the very beginning of this video over there. Right along the top here, it's got a lot of clear coat missing, and there's just some scratches and all that kind of stuff. And even the sides here have a little bit of clear coat failure all the way across here. So pretty sure this bumper is going to be thrown in the trash unless somebody wants it locally, but yeah, so putting the new one on should be a lot easier. This new pre-LCI Msport bumper should be a direct swap on, so all of the holes and everything should be identical. And the only other thing is the diffuser here, which we're actually going to put on last. But as you guys can see, there are some clips that go all the way along the top of this thing, and then the screws that we took off from before on the bottom will fit right onto that. So it should be a pretty simple thing to do here, but I think we're just about ready to put this new Msport bumper on and transform this whole rear section here. All right, so if you had a second set of hands, this would be an ideal situation, but this should be a lot easier to put back on than it is to take back off. So I'm just going to be careful and take my time. Try to line this up as best I can here before pushing it all into place. And then you do want to make sure that this black piece slides on top of the bumper here. All these clips. Okay, and then this goes here, this goes here. Put that in first. Looks pretty good. All right, so at this point I've got the bumper pretty much lined up. All my clips went into place as it should. Underneath here, as you can see, I think Kevin's missing this little black piece over here on that side. So that wasn't there to begin with, but I think majority of these holes underneath do line up, so we're pretty much ready to go ahead and put all of our 8mm screws back in. And same with this side. This side's nice and lined up, pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all these 8s back in, and then we can tackle the diffuser. All right, little progress report for you guys. I went ahead and put a bunch of these 8mm screws in. So I've got the main one up here, so don't forget that one that attaches the bumper to the quarter panel. I've got the 3 in the wheel well here. I've got like a couple right here in this section. I left off, obviously, the ones here all in the middle because the diffuser goes there first. And then I did the same thing over here. So I've got the screw there, a couple down here on the wheel well, a couple here on the bottom. And yeah, so fits nicely. It looks pretty good so far. The paint match is pretty decent as far as I can tell so far. I'm not gonna know until I really get out in the sunlight, but we're making some progress here. So I think we're ready now to put this diffuser on and put this little centerpiece in. So we're gonna go ahead with this diffuser here, and I think it should be a pretty simple install. So the bumper already has little areas here where these clips are gonna go into. So there's a bunch all the way across, a couple here in the middle. So we just need to kind of line it up and push it into place. And then obviously underneath here, we do have the screws underneath, so that'll hold the bottom. But the top part is just compression fitted. So this up in here into place, like this. Alright, so once we've got this into place, just make sure they're all clipped in. And after that, we can go ahead and put our screws in underneath again, so 8mm. Also, don't forget to put your T25s back in here, right here, and one on the other side. And then we can put this little cover back on. Alright, so diffuser's on, but we do have this little centerpiece to put on, so this was supplied. The diffuser and this piece here were from AEuroPlug, and again, the rear bumper was actually purchased locally from someone that was wanting to sell it. So I'm pretty sure it was an OEM bumper, but I'm not 100%. But this piece here, as you can see, it's got a little tab here, a hole, and a hole. So this whole compression fit into place, and it does have some 3M tape here, so we're just going to expose this tape and put this puppy on here. And since this is also taped on here, you just want to hold this here for about 30 seconds. Alright guys, so at this point we can go ahead and reinstall our taillights and we should be good to go. Alright guys, and just like that, this DIY is a wrap. So yeah, I'm going to take it outside and kind of show you guys what it looks like in the sunlight. But I definitely think this is a much more aggressive looking bumper. It really suits the body lines a little bit better. I don't like the way the stock front end bumpers look. And even when I had my 08 335, my E90, mine was fortunately a pre-LCI M car. So it came with all this already, but I did obviously swap out the diffuser for a carbon one, but I think it just makes the car look so much more aggressive and kind of sets you apart more. So I'm really excited for Kevin to do the front bumper. He needs to do something up there, and I think this car is going to start looking really, really good. So yeah, if you guys have any comments or questions about the install itself, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll get to the beauty shots here, but stay tuned for more. We got lots of content coming for you guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See ya.